What if the journalist covering a brutal serial killer case was the killer himself? In a quiet town haunted by fear, one reporter's chillingly detailed articles raised suspicion and eventually led police right to his door. But was he really the monster behind these gruesome crimes? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? This is the twisted tale of Vlado Taneski, the reporter who may have written his own confession. The small town of Kičevo, Macedonia, was once peaceful, but in the mid-2000s, fear gripped the residents. A serial killer was on the loose, targeting elderly women who lived quiet, unassuming lives. Their bodies were discovered discarded, bound, and brutalized in ways that shook the entire community. Local journalist Vlado Taneski was the one documenting the unfolding horrors. His detailed reports provided chilling insights into the murders that the police hadn't even made public. Little did anyone know, the very man reporting on the crimes was also the one committing them. This is the shocking story of the Kičevo Monster, a crime journalist who wrote about his own killings. In 2008, a headline in the Macedonian newspaper read, "The people of Kičevo live in fear and panic after another butchered body of a woman was found this weekend." The article was written by none other than Vlado Taneski, a well-respected journalist with over 20 years of experience. His detailed reports about the murders of 3 elderly women, Zivana Temelkoska, Ljubica Likoska, and Mitra Simjanoska, riveted the public. But what no one knew at the time was that Taneski was not just a journalist investigating these murders. He was the prime suspect. The murders followed a disturbing pattern. Each woman had been a cleaner by profession, just like Taneski's mother. The killer would abduct the women, hold them captive for weeks or even months, subject them to unimaginable brutality, and finally strangle them with a phone cord, his signature weapon. Their bodies were then dumped in places where they were sure to be found, as if the killer wanted to toy with the town and its authorities. Taneski's articles were disturbingly detailed, more so than any other journalist. He knew facts that had never been released to the public, including the exact type of cord used to strangle the victims and the precise condition of the bodies. At first, people thought he was just a well-connected journalist with close police sources, but soon it became apparent that his knowledge was far too intimate. As the investigation deepened, the police began to realize that Taneski wasn't just writing about the murders, he was living them. They found DNA evidence linking him to 2 of the victims, Ljubica Likoska and Zivana Temelkoska. Investigators searched his home, uncovering ropes and cords matching those used in the killings, along with a disturbing collection of violent pornography. It was clear that Taneski was much more than a quiet, mild-mannered journalist. He was hiding a monstrous secret. On June 20th, 2008, Taneski was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. The case was close to being solved, but it wouldn't reach its conclusion. Just 3 days after his arrest, Taneski was found dead in his prison cell, his head submerged in a bucket of water. Authorities claimed it was suicide, but many were skeptical. How could a man kill himself in such a bizarre way without his 3 cellmates noticing? And why was his body covered in bruises? The mysterious circumstances surrounding his death only fueled conspiracy theories. Some speculated that his death had been arranged to silence him before he could reveal more damning truths. Others believed that the entire case had been fabricated, with police planting evidence to frame the journalist. After all, Macedonia's justice system had a track record of corruption. 2 men had already been wrongfully convicted for one of the murders before DNA evidence pointed to Taneski. Taneski's wife, who had been married to him for 31 years, described him as a gentle, quiet man. She claimed that the only time she ever saw him act aggressively was when they lived with his parents. This relationship with his mother, who had also been a cleaner, is central to the case. All the victims were elderly women who shared that profession, leading some to believe that the killings were Taneski's twisted way of avenging or confronting deep-seated issues related to his mother. But what really makes this case unsettling is that we may never know the full truth. Was Taneski truly the Kičevo Monster, or was he a pawn in a much larger conspiracy? Did the man who wrote about these gruesome murders toying with the public die the villain? Or was he a victim himself of a corrupt system determined to close the case quickly? Vlado Taneski never confessed, and his death sealed the mystery forever. His guilt or innocence remains unproven, and the question still lingers. Did the monster really die that night in a prison cell? Or did he escape justice once again? Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments. Was Taneski the Kičevo Monster, or was he framed? Either way, this case serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the ones who report the news may be the ones creating it.